Hi, everyone. It's me, Lottie West, coming at you from the first time in the captain's chair, so to speak. I am GMing this really exciting one-shot in the Star Trek Adventures canon in the Star Trek universe. We're going to be hanging out in the little bit past Deep Space Nine era. And I've got some really cool people coming to play with us. You've probably seen me around Shadows of Nox a few times, so welcome. I am in Being Villainous 102. I am in Avatar on Tuesdays. I was in Call of Cthulhu. And of course, I am in the Power Rangers podcast as Cecily Adwell. And I am so excited to be sharing my first time GMing with you. I write LARPs, I staff LARPs, and this is my first time really sticking to trying to GM. I've been playing a Star Trek Adventures game for like 4.5 years now. So I'm excited to bring some people aboard. I will be your GM, and I will also be NPCing as Captain Jerzo Ashka. She is a half Bajoran, half Cardassian captain who is a little too young and a little too nervous to have taken her position, but enough people died in front of her during the Dominion War that she was kind of thrust into the position that she has currently. Okay, so I get to pick who's next. That's crazy. I've never done this. I'm like, whoa, wait. I was like waiting, and I'm like, wait, I have to make the choices now. This is crazy.
The responsibility and power is yours.
Exactly. I have too much power. I am seeing we have number 2 is Clockwork Tuba. If you want to get going, introduce yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm just the list.
My name is Joe, also known as Clockwork Tuba. You can find me on Twitch or YouTube under the same name, or pretty much across all the socials. I stream cozy games. Here in Shadow of Nox, I am in basically various assorted one-shots for the spoopy season. I'm in the Avatar game on Tuesdays, or the Shadowrun game on opposite Tuesdays. I was in the Call of Cthulhu game and hope to be in Chapter 2 when that gets up and running. Tonight I am playing Lieutenant Commander Lucas, who is the executive officer of the ship, and is, of course, a beluga whale, because cetacean ops rule.
Love cetacean ops. That is my most exciting thing to come out of this. Next up, we have Big Guns, if you want to introduce yourself. I don't know what to call you, IRL, but you can talk about your character and give me a little rundown.
Yeah, so I'm Xangpow. I played Big Guns in the Shadowrun game. I used to play Cinnamon, but she's in hiding right now because she was too hot, literally and figuratively. I will be playing Hatch Jordna, the chief of security for the ship. They are a let me see if I get it right. Song type android. So for people that don't know that is a data type character. So this is going to be very exciting because I played Star Trek Adventures twice years ago when the very first book first came out. And like when it came out that she was going to be running this game, I was like, "Ooh, me! I want to play!" So I'm very much excited to play this. And thank you for calling me cool, because like nobody else is calling me cool. So thank you for that.
I think that Trekkies are the coolest people in the world, and that's because I'm a big nerd. I only became a Trekkie like 4 years ago, and now it's consumed my entire existence.
These things happen.
It happens. And since you just spoke up, Kit, it's your turn to talk.
Oh no, more the fool am I. I'm Kit. I am also in a number of the spooky season one-shots. I am in Being Villainous 102, along with Lottie and some others. I'm also in the Avatar game. Whole lot of me saying also I'm in that. But in a completely different thing, on a channel Lucas G Variety, I am in a Fallout game. You can spot me over there. Probably be in more random things as Shadows of Nox continues to go into the future. But for now, I am playing our Klingon science officer, Chalax Katal. And we'll see how many times I can say that before I hate myself in my throat.
Well, you will bring great honor to your house, and I am sure of it.
Something like that, at least.
We'll try. We'll try. Okay, and last but not least, we have the one and only John. Well, not the one and only, because there's another John that's on this channel a lot, and he actually happens to be my partner, so that's kind of messed up that I said that.
I know a
But
lot
my-
of
And
people
unless
named
you're
John.
bringing emotional damage to Avatar, I'm the John that brings emotional damage.
I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hey there, hi there, hello there. I'm John McDonald, aka Zordon, aka Panabon. If you were around last night and you watched me absolutely devolve our Coming of Apophis game, so amazing. Had such a good time. Please check out our YouTube page as you hear the long dread outside when I put Clockwork Tuba through. And now I'm here, which is a lot of me this weekend. Congratulations, Clockwork Tuba. I GM the Power Ranger games, both the podcast, which season 2 we're finishing the back half of, so that you can get the emotional damage of season 2. And we have just about finished recording season 3, and so season 3 you'll hear probably the interim between season 2 and season 3 will be less, because it's a really cool story, and I want to make sure to share everybody's hard work with it. Cecily Adwell, of course, is one of my favorite Blue Rangers ever. And I'm not just saying that because you're the GM of this game and I'm terrified of all the retribution. I also like to GM Buffy games. I have a game coming up during Spoopy season. I'm bringing Destination Investigations back on the 26th, which is a Saturday, hopefully. And there's silver room at that table, so if you'd like to do a Saturday night Destination Investigation run, there's still time to get on board the ship, as it were. I will also be bringing Neopets here when Neopets happens, and I have a couple special things happening for Christmas time, because Christmas is on a Wednesday, and as long as I can help it, I'm going to have an amusing Wednesday time this year. I am excited to play a Betazoid, but whereas most Betazoids are empathetic, this one is not. Much to his chagrin. People at the Academy nicknamed him Larry because they didn't want to say Valeria, so he goes by Larry, which he hates, but such is life. And he has created a companion for himself, which is a Roomba with knives, because he is an engineer and he stays down in engineering because it's better for everybody. Yes. But good times. Roomba with knives named Andros. So if you ever see him walking towards the holodeck or wherever we get food from, the commissary, I guess, usually there's a little Roomba with knives following him. So yeah, I'm Larry. Happy to be here. Excited to work under probably I think you're currently the youngest female captain in Starfleet history, at least after all those people died in the war.
Yeah, and she's also the first person of Cardassian descent to be in Starfleet at the time. Coco herself and Lottie West just love Cardassians. So that is part of
By the way, before we start, remember you can use the hashtag Spooky Snacks up to twice this game in order to win the giveaway on the 31st during It's Abyss's Oops All Death Out of This World stream that I don't know what the name is of, but it's going to be the Alien RPG and going to be so much murder. Oops All Death. And I'm putting together a mystery box that you can win by using the hashtag twice during the game. There's a 5-minute cooldown. There's some really cool stuff going into the mystery box, and maybe I will send Isabit's a list of things during that stream so that they know what they're getting. But it's going to be on Halloween, and it's going to be spooky, and you'll have it before Thanksgiving, unless UPS loses it, because UPS is a real nightmare right now. But yes, very excited to live in a world with a teleporter where you wouldn't need UPS, I guess, unless you have space UPS. I don't actually know if that's a thing.
You can teleport things.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited. Beam me up, Scotty, as they said.
Yeah, it's time to boldly go, I suppose. I basically, for anybody who's watching, the way that I had everybody kind of set up their characters was that if we were pitching a pilot for a new Star Trek series, this is how it would start. The Star Trek Adventures system has a really great online character generator, and it's kind of a lot of fun to use, so I didn't really want to take that away from people. So everybody's characters are made up, even though they're just for a one-shot situation. So if you're wondering, did I come up with this? I did not. I came up with the story, and I came up with my character, Jerzo Ashka, and everything else is going to be up to everybody else. So I'm excited to see where we go. All right. Time for a little scene painting. So buckle up or don't, because there's not really any seatbelts on a lot of the starships. Aboard the USS Hopkins, which is a New Orleans class starship, a Federation starship operating in the Beta Quadrant shortly after the end of the Dominion War. The political landscape remains fragile, with factions of Cardassian loyalists refusing to accept the fall of the Dominion and attempting to restore the old Cardassian regime. So we're on board the USS Hopkins, and it seems like it would be a standard day of operation. But we receive a distress signal from an uncharted system near the Cardassian border. This signal appears to be Starfleet in origin. I am going to have since we don't have a comms officer, I'm going to have our XO.
Hi.
You're going to roll for me 2d20s, and it's going to be, what is it? It's a sensor sweep that's going to be reason plus science, first off. And then if the science officer wants to assist and roll 1d20, that would be great, because I want to see what we can get from this distress signal that we're hearing out in the middle of what would seemingly be nowhere.
Or I'll assist our valiant leader-ish person.
Yeah.
Said 1d20 on my end.
1d20 on your end, and your target numbers are going to be your reason plus science.
Okay.
So
target number's 11.
You got an 11. Well, you got a 7 and a 4. So you got 2 successes, and then I'm going to roll once for the ship, because the ship has pretty good sensor suite. Oh, I'm rolling incorrectly because I'm rolling like I do in my other game. Oopsie. Sorry.
I succeeded on mine to help as well.
Yes. Okay. And I got a success. So we got 3 successes, and we are at full momentum in the Star Trek games. Momentum is a thing that we pick up throughout scenes when we get successes, and that momentum can be used to buy extra dice or reroll dice depending on the situation or however we need it. So that gives us 3 successes, and this is something that I determined to be a 3 success roll. So we should get all the information. It looks like, curiously, that this signal that we're picking up is from a encoded format last used in the 23rd century. Upon investigation, since we're able to really get that information, it appears to be the USS Atlantis. And that is very strange because the USS Atlantis was considered to be lost over 100 years ago, seemingly trapped in some sort of space anomaly. It had never been heard from again, and it's very curious that we're rolling about it now. Do we want to go and see why we're getting this distress signal?
Generally, the Hopkins mission is basically just patrolling the area, or?
Yeah, we're patrolling we're also trying to kind of keep peace after the Dominion War, since it is kind of a fragile situation right now, I would say. We are, yeah.
You're big on.
Yeah, absolutely then.
Yeah. For reference, I'm pretty much going to let you do most of the captaining.
Yeah.
Unless we need a captain, just because it's not as fun to do that.
I will lean my whale body over and talk to the captain.
Yes.
And basically saying, Jerzo, it wouldn't be too far out of our path anyway. We should investigate, right?
I suppose it is something that we could look into. I am interested to see what exactly a Starfleet ship from 100 years ago would be doing all the way out here, but I mean, there's weirder things that have happened, right?
Do you want us to take a shuttle?
I think we should just go about it with the ship. I think that's going to be the best. Of course. All right. Yes.
So yeah, I think we pull in, and well, if I need to have a away team, I should probably grab a science officer, a security officer, and considering it's an old Starfleet ship, an engineer.
Yes.
So,
Funny how that works out.
I know.
It's crazy. My thoughts as captain is we try to get up on it as close as possible in the Hopkins, and if we need to get aboard, have that shuttle.
Wait! I have to check what color my shirt is before I
You're gold. You got gold at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
All right, I'm good then. I'm gold. I'm good. Don't have to worry about it. I'm good then.
Mr. Katal, can you run a sensor sweep, make sure that it's breathable atmosphere and it still has full integrity?
That's going to be another reason in science roll for you.
Sure, I can do that. And I take it I'm rolling the 2d20 this time?
You're going to roll the two d20s.
Okay.
And if at any point you have a focus or talent that would help with any of these rolls, feel free to shout them out to me. And if you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, you can tell me and we can decide. Okay.
Fair enough. One of those is bad.
Yeah, you got a failure for one of them, but you got a success in the other one.
Yes.
So you have one success. Would you like to use one of our momentum to re-roll that?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Exactly. We've got tons. We've got tons right now because I
got
started.
Plenty. Burn them all.
Yeah, burn them all. That's nothing bad.
Burn it down. That's another success then.
It was worth it. So that's 2 successes. So it looks like everything is remarkably usable on board. Almost
All right.
almost sketchily. Like it's kind of a little surprising. Everything seems to be
If
really
I'm doing a sensor sweep and everything seems to be working, are there life signs? Is it giving off signals?
You
Or...
are picking up life signs, and it's comparable to how many personnel would have been aboard this ship 100 years ago.
Are they spread about the ship, or are they all
They're
located
spread
in
about
one?
the ship. They are spread about the ship, and the signs are reading like it's like we literally rolled up next to the USS Rutledge, which is a ship that is almost identical to ours, and we just scanned them. It would be almost identical. You know, not the same exact thing. It's not like we're seeing like a mirror image, but we are. It is almost like eerily normal for this ship being lost for 100 years out in the middle of Cardassian space.
Gotcha.
All signs show that the ship is perfectly functional. Atmospherics, life signs, power. I don't even see why they would be giving off a distress signal.
Open a channel.
We can open up a channel, and if you could roll, what is that? The channel. That's hailing. That's going to be control plus engineering.
Control plus engineering is going to be 14 is my DC.
They might be a little shocked to see.
That's
You
double
did
successes.
great. Double successes. Open up a channel.
USS Atlantis, this is Commander Lucas of the Hopkins. Reading a distress signal. Checking on all 4.
The woman that opens this, she is shocked at first because at this point in time, in her point in time, there was no cetaceans in Starfleet. So she is a little confused. She is in an old Starfleet uniform. She does not look like, you know, it looks like she would be like cosplaying a character from 100 years ago. It doesn't look like she's been sitting there for hundreds of years. She turns to the camera and she goes, "Hello, this is Captain Amelia Royce of the USS Atlantis. You said that you're Starfleet. Your uniforms are quite interesting. I'm quite perplexed as to who or where you are. Are we..."
Before we get into that, just a quick cursory question.
Yes.
What is the current start date?
The current star date is, I had it written down and now I don't have it.
And that's fine. We can even just say numbers, but like
Yeah, I'm so bad at star dates.
like I want her to answer it before I tell her what it actually is.
Of course. Well, we're in the year 2379, and she will say it is the year 2274.
Sorry, what was your last name?
Royce.
Captain Royce. We are here to offer aid. You did send a distress signal. Is everything okay?
It is. We just we appear to be a little stuck, I would say. Our problem seems to be that there is some sort of issue with the nebulous clouds around here that are causing our ship to not be able to move forward.
With your permission?
Not here, but it has been a few hours.
Mm-hmm. With your permission, may we be over an away team to help look at the engines and see what's going on?
Is that something that you're prepared to do, Commander? She's like obviously very suspicious of this entire situation, because she's like, not only do these guys not really look like Starfleet, but you are a whale.
That's racist.
And the captain is half Cardassian. So
that's speciesist.
Yeah, right. No, she like, I think that the Captain Royce definitely looks at Captain Jerzo Ashka and goes, "Oh, you're sure that you're Starfleet?" She is a little bit honestly flustered, and she probably doesn't know how to word that correctly in a way that works well over communications. And her first officer is also shooting glances and typing furiously into their boards in front of them, trying to figure out if they can gain any information. They're probably just looking, whale Starfleet ?
They're gonna have a ball, because if I remember correctly in the timeline, the Klingon Federation War was like 20 years ago from their perspective.
Also, the Klingons looked vastly different than what you look like.
That's fair. I always forget that stupid nonsense.
Why do you think I made this specific journey?
Furious touching on a console looks different because it's all touchpad that makes noise. So you can hear little bings and beeps as they're because they don't have any springbacks. All you're hearing is little ode to joy is underlining the question.
Mr. Catal, please send see if the databanks have. I'll basically quietly, not being picked over the mics. See if the databanks have a record of the old IFF signals that were used back 100 years ago, and send them friendly.
I mean, this kind of nonsense happens so often in Starfleet, I have to assume there's a standard protocol for time travel shenanigans.
There is, but as soon as we start Googling the temporal prime directive, then Section 31 shows up, and we're not doing that until we have...
Is Google still a thing in this era? We haven't advanced the search engines at all? Are we still using Google? God!
Those two great badasses from the Time Cop show up, and as fun as they are to watch, that is paperwork no one on the Hopkins wants to fill out for the next 3 months.
It's a lot of work, and they always, they just take up a lot of space. And
plus, Lucas will know this. The temporal prime directive means if we report them coming to the future, we are not allowed to send them back. It is against the temporal prime directive to send if we can figure out how to send them back to their time. If we report any of this, they are stuck here They are stuck here. Here's your pun of the day: like a fish out of water. So, Lucas is Jerzo is a wartime captain. Lucas also had to take control of a ship during wartime. There's the difference of we're not Starfleet brats who came up and were like, no, we must follow the rules. Let's see if we can get these people home before we have to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Agent 31 is probably already some sort of bells are ringing like temporal.
We're listening to our communications right now, and they're like 100 years ago. Oh no! They're starting to put on their fun little suits. So we got to get this thing rolling.
It's our assigned FBI agent is freaking the hell out right now.
Not again.
He's like, we cannot let that whale and that snake lady and all of their weird little companions get away with this.
I do have a question, actually.
Yes.
So we are now parked near enough to them that if something were happening with the nebula clouds, would I be seeing them down in the engine room? Like, do I have bells going off near my warp core, or like?
Tell you what,
my Roomba being weird?
Tell you what, you're gonna have to roll for that, and I'm gonna make you roll a. I'm gonna have you roll a daring plus control, a daring or control, depending on which one's better, plus engineering.
They're both 10 for me, and then my engineering is 5, so 15 is what I need to get under for this. Yeah. And it's 2d20, correct?
Correct. And if you have anything to like help you back that up. Oh, you did 1 and 20. So you did get there's 2 successes because that 1 does equal 2 successes, but you did get a failure. Take that as threat. Threat just means that is basically my as a storyteller. It is I call it like my Q chaos points. So if I want to make things harder for you down the line, I've got 1 now, so that's pretty cool.
Honestly, like every time the ship goes somewhere and it stops, something happens in the engine room. That's just how Star Trek works. So like, I'm just like, well, we're not moving now, so something is probably going wrong. But if Andros is being fine and the knives aren't quivering, then we're probably fine. They'll let me know if they need me.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
You're noticing like some slight fluctuations within various instruments and panels and stuff like that, but it's nothing that, like, if you weren't here with a ship from 100 years ago, you wouldn't necessarily think, wow, we're having problems. You just think that you're maybe going through a rough patch of space.
Do I know we have stopped to assist a ship from 100 years ago?
You hear everything on the bridge. If you are the chief engineer, you are tuned into the bridge conversations.
Also,
then I'm actually literally managing myself. Atlantis. Why do I know that ship name? Atlantis. That's gonna bug me. Oh well, it's probably fine.
Probably nothing.
Also, 2 quick things. One, what class of ship is the Atlantis?
The Atlantis is, I have it written down.
Actually, canonically, the Atlantis is something I would know something about, but it's like an obscure thing, so like I have to wait until I have a moment to remember it.
The USS Atlantis is... What are you? What did I write down? It's a... Where are you? I like wrote down its like registration, but I did not write down. It's just in case you're wondering about that. It is a... I'm just gonna pick something for it.
That's fair. But the other half of my point then is the Hopkins is an old girl of a Constitution class in this era. So they're probably at least somewhat familiar with Constitution classes.
Yeah, it's kind of close. It's like we would have been the newer part and they would have been the older part. Mm-hmm. They are an Excelsior class.
Gotcha.
First Excelsior class. So that's what they are. And so they're bigger, they're fancy, but they definitely disappeared 100 years ago. And people were like, where did they go? We don't know.
Is there a way to do a history roll to see if I can remember why I know the Atlantis?
Let me see what I can give you. I love that idea, so I'm going to come up with something for you to roll. How about you do insight plus engineering?
Okay, insight plus engineering will be fun. That's a 15 again. I think I can do that. We'll find out.
Never.
Wow.
And we are rolling a lot of 20s.
Do I have a thing that I can actually I might have a thing that might let's see if one of my
you can always take a look at your sheet, and if you're like, wow, I want to re-roll because I have this talent, if you have like cautious engineering or something like that, you can, or bold engineering, you can re-roll it, I think.
I do have bold. I picked a lot of bold because I'm a bold sort of
yeah, that works. Okay, yeah, so you can re-roll that 20.
All right, I'll re-roll the 20. That's an 11, so that succeeds actually.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, you would remember. Do you have a specific backstory thing, or do you want me to come up with something?
No, I actually know this canonically. I looked it up.
Let's go. Let's hear.
So I actually know this because of my diagnostic specialty. The USS Atlantis was famous for being one of the ships that had to have their transporter. Like they have like a long-standing work request to have their transporter beam fixed. And it was never specified what was wrong with it. But something with their transporter was like either constantly malfunctioning. There's just like a long-standing like Starfleet work order in the Nethers for like, please someone fix the USS Atlantis's transporter beam. And I'm like, I tap my badge. I'm like, hey, Commander.
Go ahead.
So I know something about the Atlantis. Also, beyond the fact that they're from 100 years in the past, I don't know if they can hear me or not. But their transporter is kind of wonky. There's like this like in joke about fixing it. I don't know why that's funny, but it's a joke nonetheless. So maybe don't transport over there unless you or maybe send a sandwich first. Sandwich is the most reliable way to test a transporter. So if you want to transport over there, send a sandwich first. That's the standard.
I have done nothing but teleport bread for 3 days.
I mean, the testing is that the sourdough works best. So send a sourdough sandwich if you're going to do that. Sourdough and turkey, I think that was the last one that was the best test.
All right. So was Mr. Catal noted? Was Mr. Catal able to send an old school IFF and basically like, hey, we're good?
With the role that we had earlier, yes, they would have been able to do that. The captain, while Captain Amelia, while she is apprehensive about this entire situation, she is in distress, and she is at least trusting of the situation. So if she has authorized the shuttle to come aboard the USS Atlantis.
Okay. So then, yeah, it's Catal. Sorry, what's the security officer's last name?
I forgot to. Jordna.
Jordna. And what's Valeria's last name?
Kolel.
Kolel?
Kolel, yeah.
Kolel, gotcha.
Everyone just calls him Larry. Just call him Larry. He's
no, I'm your commanding officer. I'm actually going to call you by your proper name, believe it or not.
That's
You're
respect.
like the only person that calls me Kolel, by the way. Like, everybody else calls me Larry because no one wants to call me Valeria. And I'm like, fine, I'm Larry, whatever. It's fine.
But no, I will round up our hooligan trio, and then head down to the shuttle bay.
I have to ask, how do you get around?
I figure I've got like one of those like an anti-grav rig, and I'm like just swimming down the hallways in zero G.
That's what I was assuming. And it is
Just taking up all the hallway space.
I go above everybody.
I'm actually picturing the news anchor from BoJack Horseman, and like however he hopped around when he was not news anchoring. I'm just picturing you like hopping up and down the hallway in a Starfleet uniform.
Actually, I have a talent that makes it so that it's easier for me to move in zero G, specifically because I figured I was just moving in zero G constantly. So yes, we'll fly over, and Mr. Kolel, Kolel. Can you keep your scans out? I don't want anything interfering with us as we are docking with the ship.
Of course, Commander. And may I say, it is a beautiful ship. They don't make ships like these anymore. Well, I guess they do technically, but no, beautiful ship.
We're in like the 3rd Excelsior class at this point.
Yeah, this is a very old ship. It's like walking into a very well maintained museum. When you board, it like looks, like it's got like good old carpet everywhere, and
Oh God.
everything is that weird bronzy gold. And
Haha, ground walkers, and you're needing to deal with a carpet.
I say like out loud, it's almost like an intrusive thought. I wonder if they have a museum in here.
Before we leave the shuttle, we'll say to everyone, the shuttle's locking when we leave. Anything you take with you, you bring back. In case we can send them home, we don't want to jumpstart their technology by 100 years.
Make sure that everything is with us.
Also, please, nobody explain that the security officer is a positronic android. We don't. That's too many. That is way too many.
I shouldn't explain the finale of Doctor Who to them? Is that what you're telling me?
No
Definitely not.
spoilers.
no spoilers.
I mean, I didn't even understand the finale of Doctor Who, so I'd be pretty amazed at myself if I'm honest.
Commander, I imagine they're going to be far more interested in yourself. You are rather striking.
Right up to the point where the security officer bench presses a ton, then interest will go that way. Remember, we're representing our time, let alone our ship.
Are you
Back
intending to keep the fact that they are 100 years in the future a secret?
No, I tend to have.
Ship may have sailed.
I tend to have that. I'm going to have that conversation with the captain and the XO, while you all try to figure out what the hell's going on with their engines.
Do they have a psychiatrist on board if it like breaks their brain that they're?
I don't think so. Not at this point in time.
Not 100 years ago. It was pretty. It was almost like it was like the 1960s.
So I'm gonna sit down with the captain and XO and behold the time whale. No,
This is how you can.
I know all. I see all.
You show up with like a bowl of petunias in one hand and you drop it just to,
not
like,
again. So yeah,
It's again.
like it's Lucas is definitely having the moment of, I understand I'm a whale. I understand that this is not normal for you. I am trying to have an adult conversation with you. Stop staring at my tail.
Did they try to like offer you krill from their nutritional machine or whatever?
Oh my
it is?
god, they have the bad Replimat. Oh god. They got the thing with the slidey things where like they would replicate a bunch of random standard food.
Amazing.
All right, so you all come aboard the USS Atlantis. Before you is a tall, slender brunette woman, Captain Amelia Royce. She is standing, and she has another human. Looks like a man, smaller, a little bit shorter than her, standing at her side, and she has her hands pursed together. And she goes, "Welcome aboard the USS Atlantis. I am Captain Amelia Royce, commanding. I must admit your ship's uniforms are unfamiliar, but I trust Starfleet wouldn't have sent you without good reason."
Yes. You and I should have a talk in the what's it called? The ready room. this is, and I introduced, Mr. Katal, Chief Engineer Kolel, and our security officer, Jordna, to assist in any way we can across it. If you would like to have them take a look at the engines, we'd be happy to help. But you and I need to have a pressing conversation.
Steve, that's very, very wise. She goes, Commander Brown will assist the others to take a look around, give a quick tour of the premises while we go speak in my ready room.
I'm going to lean over to the commander and just kind of whisper, with all due respect, I feel like I should attend your meeting.
It'll be okay. I would rather have you with the others.
Very well, sir.
Fair
I will
enough.
sacrifice myself on every single one shot in this Halloween month, or so help me God.
I lean over to Kit's character and I'm like, they don't have a gift shop here. I don't think they're gonna have a gift shop.
No, it is
By the way,
unlikely. Our
by the
ship
way,
doesn't have a gift shop.
Andros
Somehow-
stays on the shuttle. I'm assuming you brought Andros because you're you.
No, I left Andros, and I don't take Andros on away missions.
I love him too much to sacrifice him like I would
Andros
you.
has a very low center of gravity. I took him on one where there was gravel, and I spent 5 days picking gravel out of his bottom fan. And I'm not going through that again. I love him too much. He stayed on the
Wait,
ship.
even though we're on the revamped Constitution and has no actual carpet, you still have the actual vacuuming thing activated?
I am an engineer that believes in building true to life. I don't have telepathy. This is my skill. This is my design.
I don't have telepathy
Engineering
either.
is
I'm
my
not
passion.
making a pointless.
Well, the captain leads you to her ready room. She looks pretty perplexed. She's like, hopefully that you can get through the door because you're larger than the standard at this point in time. There's not a lot of other creatures that are in Starfleet that would.
They're
It's
not
like in
usually that
D&D.
wide.
They're not usually whale shaped, and she's
I'm only
like,
18 feet long. I'm relatively short for my species.
You're bigger than their whole ready room. That's the problem. Like, they have to take out the conference table so that you can be in the ready room.
But you can see that she's very perplexed, and
Oh, it also doesn't help that I'm wearing red.
yeah, like
She's
everything's
wearing gold.
very cold. She's in, like, most of the people on her ship are wearing skants, like the little dresses, because I just think that she's a girl boss, and she thinks that they're more fun and freeing, and there's just a lot of like translucent black pantyhose everywhere, so it's great. But
Future sponsored by Legs.
yes, it's actually it's sponsored by Snag, which is a great tights company.
This
It's very size inclusive. Anyways,
better not be sponsored by Legs. I have none.
yeah, you would look very
It'd be
strange.
an odd choice.
She looks perplexed, and she looks around before the door shuts, and she looks you over once more, and she goes, I assumed that you're here to help assist us with our mission. What is the status of the Cardassian threat?
It's a complicated answer.
Well, I have good news and I have bad news.
I noticed that your captain appeared to be of Cardassian descent.
That is the good news. The
Oh.
war with the Cardassians and with the Dominion are over.
Oh, that's...
And the reason you don't know what the Dominion are
I do not.
is, and I think at that point, I don't have I don't have the normal tricorder because I don't have hands. So I think like the tricorder that's clipped to the front of my. We're not.
Simon
Stop.
Says tricorder.
Stop
Like a
picturing me
Simon Says
flippering the tricorder. I believe that all of Lucas's gear is basically like he can sub-vocalize to it with echolocation because that just makes sense and is a lot easier to explain than John's mental image of me flipping the tricorder with my
You have a
flipper.
Simon Says tricorder. It's so good.
But I think it does like project onto things when he needs to like actually see the screen, and he projects onto the table the current stardate.
You see the captain's face immediately like kind of lose color for a second, like she's like very shocked. She goes, well, I suppose that would explain the curious uniforms. Yes.
By the way, are we? So wait, we're right after you said. So we're not only just in the red in the fancy like uniforms. We're in the gray over zipped up ones from the movies.
Yeah, we're wearing those. Because it looks so different.
I don't want to tell you, but they wash you out a little bit as a beluga. The gray doesn't do much for your complexion. That's more John than it is Valeria, really.
No one has ever commented on my complexion, sadly.
She's like, that brings up quite a few quandaries, I would suppose.
Yes.
And as she's about to open up her mouth to say something, the entire ship is rocked. You can feel a definite rock.
Hello, what did you do?
I am going to have our Chief of Engineering and our Chief of Security both roll something. Chief of Security, you are going to roll a Insight and Security roll. And our Chief of Engineering, you are going to roll an Insight and Engineering roll. Engineering and then Security, so on and so forth. You know what I mean.
Wow, that's that 20. Wait, 20 is okay, right?
No, 20's bad. 20's as bad as you can get.
Okay.
You want to get lower.
Stop rolling them. Stop rolling them.
No, I don't normally roll this many 20s.
Listen, I'm just going to roll a bunch of junk right now to see. Okay. I'm going to try and get some nasty ones out of the way.
No, those are the numbers we wanted. What are you doing?
I'm resetting it.
It's ruined us.
I have talents. I have so many talents. Can I use like intense scrutiny to keep me from like moving while the ship rocks or something? I don't know.
Do you want to use a momentum to re-roll that 20?
What was it?
A momentum? We are in a new scene, so we can use a momentum to re-roll the 20.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Go for it. Roll that.
That's an 8. 8 is much better than a 20.
8 is much better.
8 and 11, which are both successes, which is good.
If Pax could roll for me those 2 d20s, you're going to be doing Insight and Security. So that's whatever. I'm looking at your thing. Insight and Security.
So I have a 9 and a 5, so I'm trying to roll under a 9 and a 5, right?
Nope, roll under a 14.
You're rolling under a 14 for both of those dice. So that's what you're hoping for.
Okay, so I'm adding them together then, right?
Yeah, it'll add it together. It'll give you both. It's both separate. So that'll give you how many successes we're getting. And a 1 is automatically 2 successes. And like, okay, so I'm just going to do this as because we're all learning. This is great. Open up for me. Jeez.
If you do the dice roller and go to the d20 and then do 2 d20, yeah, you did it. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah, you did it. Perfect. Okay, so we've got 2 and they're both under. So we've got 4 successes in this situation. You're able to see that this is not something from the ship itself. It is from an outside cause. You can do a couple of things. You could look out of the porthole. You could call your captain on the other ship and see what's happening. Or you can wait and see what the captain of this ship is going to do. Since it is her ship, it's probably the let her do her thing.
What I'm going to be doing is calling the commander on our ship and let him know, hey,
the hell?
Something hit us.
Something. The Captain Amelia is going to immediately call for everyone to meet her on the bridge, including all of you, as quickly as possible as they go to red alert.
Did any of us go? I'm gonna swear because we're on an 18+ candle. Did any of us go ass over tea kettle into any of their engineering stuff? Did anything break in the core that I should worry about?
You can do an artistic judgment if you would like to go ass over tea kettle. If you would like to have a little moment.
I don't want to go ass over tea kettle. Also, I don't think you can, Commander. No offense, but I don't think whales have asses. Do they?
Yes.
I mean, I'm no biologist. I don't know. I've never pictured
Why do you
that,
think
so-
he's still required to wear the pants with the uniform?
I'm actually not required to wear the pants with the uniform.
Oh, that's a choice you made.
No. There's a very clear example of what the station op uniforms look like. It is basically a shirt. That's on lower decks. We get to see them. So yes,
Yeah.
there is no pants in the station uniform.
All right. Well, I will head up, but I just if I can just even I don't want to even necessarily roll for it, but just like a cursory glance to make sure nothing broke, and as long as no one's tangled in the system, then that's fine.
But I will
am
say that
concerned, though.
I'll say Lucas immediately checks in with Jerzo. It's like, Captain, what was that?
It appears that there seems to be company aboard that has tried to make contact with the ship. My scans are picking up that it is a Cardassian vessel, also from 100 years ago.
Okay.
Captain Amelia is standing center on her bridge, and she is turning to face all of you for a moment, and she goes, this is a Cardassian vessel that we have been having a few different issues with quite recently, and I am trying to ensure that we remain as safe as possible. They are a much smaller ship, and I would not like to obliterate them if necessary. You understand, I suppose, Commander.
We would, if we need to obliterate them, we'd much rather obliterate them back where you came from. And I'm occasionally thinking, what
Which
do
is
you?
a whole other kettle of fish.
What? Don't like that turn of phrase.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
I think as stoic as the whale can get. Just okay. We're just moving on.
I lean over to the security officer and I'm like, is that racist of them? Speciesist? I
Speciesist.
can never tell.
Amelia's like, oh, I beg your pardon. I am so sorry. I did not mean to.
Captain Royce, what?
Yes.
I'm gonna have my science officer look over your logs, but tell me what happened prior to us arriving in response to your distress signal.
Oh, we have been we've been investigating the border as necessary, and we came across this group of Cardassians quite recently, and they have tried to speak with us about various loyalties of the Cardassian Union, and with the context that you have just brought to me, that does seem to make a bit more sense as to why they are speaking of Cardassian loyalty. It's like you can see, like, finally things are starting to click, because it really didn't come to her head at first that they would have gotten into any sort of temporal anomaly. Even though it's very obvious right now, it just things are, you don't really think about it until you're there, I suppose. I haven't been in a space-time situation, but
Are you kidding? I think about that all the time. That's all I'm ever
It's like
thinking.
being at Six Flags. You know you're there until you're there.
I think
Captain and Captain Amelia, she's
I think there is one of like the Atlantis science officers in the corner who is just like, yes, I was right.
there is Officer Valak, who is who's a Vulcan, and he's like, my calculations were correct. He's like stoically very excited, the most excited that a Vulcan can be, as he
Is the Falcon equivalent of him doing a lap around the bridge going, in your face?
Do Vulcans always have a catchphrase? I say that to myself. I don't enunciate that aloud, but like my face is like, do all Vulcans say that? I feel like all Vulcans say that.
yes, they all have
That was
something.
specious.
Yes.
We're having a lot of specious moments, like the captain aboard this ship is not only accidentally saying racist things to the commander, instead accidentally speciesist things to your captain, has been very put off by Klingons walking around. She's very confused, but she's trying her best, and she really, really is struggling, but also ready to at least help her ship. She wants to try to get things going, and she turns to the commander. She goes, I believe I should try to open up a communication with the Cardassian vessel. Perhaps in this moment, it is best if I... If any of the things that I say need to be filled in, would you assist?
I will do my best.
Well, thank you. They open up a channel to the Cardassians. You come face to face with... Pulling up his sheet. Where are you? Where are you? Golzarath, who is the leader of the Cardassian loyalists. He is like a smarmy looking motherfucker. And
Mr. Cardassian.
Yeah, he's a motherfucker. And he is he looks like he is so pleased in this moment. And then he chuckles, one of the creepy dark chuckles, as soon as he sees you on the screen. He's USS Atlantis, I presume. And he looks over and he looks directly at the rest of the Hopkins crew, and he goes,
He's the whale. He's the whale. He's the whale.
We appear to be having some kind of communications glitch.
Also, just to confirm, he's in a pissant little freighter, small little Cardassian ship going against a something that is the equivalent of a capital class warship.
Yes.
And he thinks that he's getting the upper hand here.
Yes, because he is a smart
Is he doing a Captain Phillips or something like that? Is that what's happening here?
I mean, he is Cardassian. Cardassians act like that. No, even if they have the smallest weapon, be like, I still have the upper hand. It's like, you have.
Now I gotta Google if beluga whale can facepalm.
If a beluga whale can destroy a cobra.
Your flipper is. You could probably maneuver your arm.
Not unless your flipper is concernedly long.
I mean, I guess technically, if you're if you're like a humanoid beluga whale hybrid, you'd probably have elbows.
I am a beluga whale.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're not okay. So you don't have elbows then. So I guess you can't
that's why everything is talk activated for him, including his console and everything like that. All the consoles back on the Hopkins. It's the fact that the cetacean ops is literally just in the future they recognize whales as a sentient species, and because they're very good at swimming and doing 3D navigation, they just put them into astronavigation checks and things like that. That's why Lucas is a phenomenal pilot. I could pilot the shit out of anything.
Also, after Star Trek V, it just felt like the right thing to do. I assume this is post Star Trek V with the whales saving the planet. So also,
anyways,
we love space.
Smarmy friend saw a whale and had a moment.
Yeah.
Moment. He's looking over everyone. He goes, what an interesting menagerie of various Starfleet personnel. He's going to make another. You do understand that you're on the border of Cardassian space?
Okay, I'm going to, because this is all ancient history at this point.
Yes.
I'm going to Wikipedia this asshole. What is his first name?
His first name is.
Or is it Prince is just one name? He's just Golrath or whatever it was.
Goal is their version of captain.
Goal is their that's his title. His first name is.
That explains Gul Dukat. I had always just thought Gul was his first name. I didn't realize that
Gul
was
is being commander.
I hate him even more now, knowing that.
His name is Mor, but it's Mor, Zorath.
Okay. Because here's the problem, guys. I love you all, but I've got I finish what I start. Decisive leadership, lead by example, as focuses and values. The unknown is our playground. Exploration is the blood that fills my veins. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of things on this character sheet that are telling me.
Can you roll, because you are like reaching up his like thing? You're trying to do this sneakily.
Yep.
Can you roll up
I will say I also have an issue because I have a mystery is irresistible to me. So I also have a little bit of an issue because the longer we're here, the more excited I'm going to get.
Yeah.
So there's that.
All right, what am I rolling?
I'm going to have you roll a reason plus command.
So it's gonna be 12.
Yes.
1 success.
One success. So with this quick cursory glance, since this commander, this gull, also disappeared 100 years ago, and there has been a lot of uprise in Cardassia through the last few years, you're not able to find as much information on him as you possibly could have. You can see that he had a wife, and then a second wife, and then 4 kids, and they all they didn't know what happened to him, and they all kind of moved on with their lives, and nobody really yeah, he just kind of disappeared, and when they disappeared, nobody really
Cared? Oh, buddy.
He's not...
So I'm not going to make you create a bunch of random Cardassian names, but I will say this: I swim over to the view screen saying, "More? Can I call you More? Too bad, I'm calling you More. See, here's the problem: you're not in Cardassian space. You are currently very much." And I take a side-eye glance to Amelia, a fish out of water.
Okay,
now,
he says it.
if you want to get back to see Cardassian name 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you will do what we say. You will follow our command, and we will get you home alive. If you deviate from this, then I am currently floating inside a warship capable of obliterating your ship, and then I do a quick signal to Jerza, and the Hopkins comes into view from behind the Atlantis. Or we can have the more technologically advanced ship blow you back to the dominion of your to the empire of your dreams. Have I made myself clear?
Golzarath is first. He's a little put off by the names. He's like, "Ugh, how'd you know that?" But then he goes, "Don't you see, my fine, pale friend? I don't care if I live or die. My desire is to push disgusting Starfleet from Cardassian borders. And if I do that, I will be remembered. And I have enough ammo aboard this ship to take out this ship as well as at least damage that other bizarre ship."
I know I only got a cursory bit of information.
Mm-hmm.
But again, being the no-nonsense whale that I am, as I am staring into basically staring down the view screen at him, I start like the intro Wikipedia like early career blurb is basically what I give him. The graduated from this military class around this star date, went through, had give him a couple of things, and then I keep on going of the went missing on star date blank, and then it just ends. No memorials, no one searching for you. Cardassian command just forgot about you.
Also like to say, like completely out of character, you might notice that there is a link between two, like a niece and a great niece, and it's a connection back to your captain. So it's like two. So it's two lines back, but it's like she wouldn't know that, and because she doesn't know
This is just funny because last night my wife, played by Isabitz, had an ancient ancestor who was a vampire who was attacking us. So basically what you're saying is in another game, a female that I have a close working relationship with has an ancient ancestor who is causing me problems now.
Yeah, but you probably shouldn't call your captain Honey Bunches of Oats.
I will not call my captain Honey Bunches of Oats.
Yeah, it's because me and Isabeth have the same brain. And I firmly believe that she would love Star Trek if she gave it a shot. But I am going to have everybody on the ship roll for me a daring con, because while he is, I imagine this man is puffing and like, you know, having a little alpha male hissy fit. But he is also like ready to ram this ship. And
what is daring con? Oh, daring. Oh, I do. Oh, daring con.
yes,
I did fine. I got 2 11s, so I passed both mine.
I got 2 3s, so I also passed.
you did a
both
great
mine.
job. Great job.
So only one success for me.
Do you have
I was
anything?
very close.
Do you have any talents to fix that?
Are
Is
you
this
good at anything, whale boy?
Wow. Yeah, I'm good at. The thing is, like, it's more of like when 0G everything is easier, or when giving commands to people things are easier, or when learning new things things are easier.
Yeah. No, that makes
So,
sense.
like,
Do you want a determination that you could use here?
if people are okay with me burning one,
Yes.
no, I'm asking the other players just because this isn't a.
No, momentum's shared, determination's individual.
Oh, then yeah, I'll burn one.
Determination's your if you want to. You don't have to.
Yeah. I'm having too much of a badass moment to give into this little twip.
What determination are you using? What is your thing? What is it? Your like core part of you. You'd have to say one of your
My values?
values. Yes.
I finish what I start.
Perfect. Love it. I completely agree. So that means you can you've gotten at least rid of that 18, and you can say that you had 2 successes.
All
And we have 1 success. What is your targeting, Xangpow, for the security officer?
It was complete failure. Both of them, because I was supposed to roll under a 10 and I got a 19 and a 15. So
Okay. Did you want to use a momentum to re-roll those? You can use actually, because we're sitting at 5 momentum. If you want to use 3 of those, you can re-roll both of those dice, and then everybody else has to agree. Like, be like, is it cool if we use the dice?
yeah, I was gonna say if y'all don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
More does not get the
I want you putting the next time we use the
He doesn't
rationator.
eat. He's an android.
That's why I want his pudding, because they keep giving him pudding because he looks human.
Oh, and you got
One success.
That's better than the 20. I'll just take that as threat. He is gearing up, but as he is trying to ram the ship, he only rams one of the nacelles. And while it is a problem for the ship, it does not cause any sort of it doesn't cause any like
Nothing explodes.
casualties. That's the word I was using. Casualties. But it is a problem. His ship is badly damaged. This leaves you with some choices in Starfleet fashion. Do you beam this guy aboard and his weird ass Cardassian crew, or do we just get this ship away? What is your guys' call? This is something you guys can all kind of focus on, because the captain at this point is so probably flabbergasted, and the rest of the crew, as they're slowly starting to realize that they are, 100 years away from everything that they've ever cared and loved about, they're kind of having existential crises. So I'm giving you this.
They had problems beholding the time whale. Gotcha.
Yes, they have problems beholding the time whale. They're struggling, and they don't have a ship counselor.
By the way, everyone look out for your Behold the Time Whale t-shirt from Shadow of Nox coming soon.
I'll make one.
Commander, you want me to go take care of? I mean, I can probably make it. I guess I should make it better, but I can probably fix the nacelles, just a warp core thing.
I'll turn around and basically take a quick gauge of my crew of I know Empathy Boy gives no fucks for a little more over there, so Valeria is not going to want to save him. But
I mean, I don't wish destruction on people, but yeah, I have no telepathy. I have some empathy, but most of it is like, yeah, whatever.
what do the other two think?
I believe we should be able.
One of my values is actually diplomacy first, and the last solution is violence.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. Then we're gonna have the Hopkins do it because I've been alerted that the transporters on the Atlantis are a little sketchy. So we're gonna have the Hopkins teleport him line of sight from his ship to a brig on the Atlantis.
Yeah, the teleporter teleported a turkey sandwich and returned a ham sandwich, and no one can quite figure out how that happened. So yes, teleporters are a little sketchy on the Atlantis.
I mean, again, one of my past events is there was a teleport accident where I became bipedal and like was in a human body for like a week. I missed cheeseburgers, but aside from that, no, never again.
Okay, so the your captain, Captain Jerzo Ashka, has transported a crew of 25 100-year ago Cardassian loyalists aboard the USS Hopkins into the brig. So they're there. The ship that they used is about to blow up, so we probably have to move this ship away.
Yeah.
If we could have the assistance of our chief engineer, you're going to jump on the panels. Do you have any sort of insight into these 100-year-old ships? Do you have a affinity for any of their controls?
Weirdly enough, I have shipboard tactical systems, maintenance specialty, and troubleshooting as focuses, because I took the idea of being an engineer as literally my only like, I don't even play poker. Like, engineering, and I think I holodeck Agatha Christie mysteries is pretty much what I do. So I am pretty much engineer all the way down. So
Cool. So I'm going to have you roll a daring engineering. And can I also have the science officer, our Klingon buddy, also, if you want to jump in, can you roll a daring science?
Daring science.
Bold and daring.
Bold is daring's an attribute.
Daring's an attribute, so that's making
daring is an attribute. Okay, yes. Okay, so and then science. Okay, so I got to hit a 14. That's fine. That's probably doable. Let's see.
I'm aiming for a 13.
I did fine. Yeah.
Oh, it helps if I rolled both. Hey!
You guys both did really, really well. So you guys are able to move this 100-year-old museum out of the way, and our science officer is able to see, as we're moving, the temporal anomaly a little bit better through your own eyes, because it is kind of like a nebulous cloud that is affecting the ship and these Cardassians and everybody aboard the USS Atlantis a little bit clearer.
Excellent.
So sorry, I just got the hiccups.
Okay. I was about to say, since you were mentioning that they're older and confusing panel layouts, I'm just going to cheat past that anyways, because I have this lovely thing that the system let me take called a direct neural interface. So I'm just going to plug my brain up to the computer, and that super explains why I'm getting a really good view at the temporal anomaly.
This interface is like learning French all over again. Jeez, like they've got the enter button in like the wrong place. Like my hand has to move forward. This is so.
The poor ensign that's next to you makes a face. She's like her mouth is just open, like she's not contributing anything anymore. She's already like, what happened to my cat? Like, what happened to my cat back in Cape Town? I don't know.
Your cat died with honor.
You're not only a Klingon with a
that looks radically different.
You are also taking over my ship like you've known it forever, and she is definitely not having a great day with that. She's kind of freaked out. But
I recommend getting a Roomba with knives. Much better.
I recommend getting a ship's counselor.
Yeah,
don't worry, they're gonna make those standard in a few years, so you want to get ahead of that curve.
Yeah. let me pull up my next part of it, because this kind of leads you to a few different choices that you guys are all going to have to make when it comes to, because we're going to go on break in a few minutes, but I want you guys to start thinking about what your plan is with this ship. You can either navigate complex science problems to understand what this anomaly is and fix the timeline. That could take time. That could, leave space for you to get caught up in this temporal anomaly. It could cause loops, paradoxes, doubles, mirror universes, etc., etc. Or
all of that.
That
Let's
weird
do that.
cabin that Captain Kirk lives in the movie.
No, we don't.
That's the pleasure ribbon.
or
I'm gonna go to the pleasure ribbon. That sounds great. Let's do the pleasure ribbon.
It sounds great, but there's some weird stuff going on.
All right, listen to your captain, folks.
Or
Yeah.
the other thing that you guys could do is bring this ship and this Cardassian crew to your timeline, deal with all the paperwork and repercussions of having to deal with people from 100 years of the past, and kind of just get this section kind of blocked off on maps as like a don't deal with this unless you're, part of the space people. So this is something that you guys kind of have to worry about, figure out, and like decide if you want to leave these people in the past. These Cardassians are already aboard your ship. So they are in the future effectively. You have put 25 Cardassians from 100 years ago onto the ship that they should not have any knowledge of existing.
No, sorry, we teleported them onto the Atlantis.
Oh, I thought you said you teleported them on.
No, we used the Hopkins to do it.
Oh, okay.
But I made sure they went to the Atlantis because I don't want these Kardashians on the Hopkins at all. We used the Hopkins teleportation to do it so that we didn't use the faulty transporter on the Atlantis.
Perfect.
Yeah, plus we have that good transporter math. Future.
Yeah, we don't need 19 Cardassians in one ham sandwich.
Or at least give them tips. They can fix them themselves.
I want to hear, like, when we come back from break, I'm going to have everybody kind of give their piece and like decide what the best course of action is. Do we leave these people in the past? Do we try to push them into the past? Do we leave them here? Or do we bring them into the future? So everybody kind of figure out your best Starfleet argument and what your character would do, and I'll make you roll a million things to figure out if we can do those things.
While we are waiting, because I think Teslin has had to step away from the computer for a second, so we're going to come back to put us to break.
Yes.
We are going to remind people that it is October. It is spooky month. On Shadow of Nox, there are about 5 bazillion and a half one-shots that are happening, 3 of which just happened over this past weekend. There are still some spots available, so go to the Discord and see the Casting Call Anniversary channel to see if there's anything that's available that you are interested in. But more importantly, there's also a giveaway being run right now. If you put hashtag Spooky Snack into the chat, you can do so twice per any stream that you catch. You are entered into the winning. On Halloween itself, Isabitz will be running an Alien RPG Spooktacular, and then after she slaughters us all and is giggling gleefully over our corpses, she will be pulling a random name from the drawing, and you will be sent something from our very own John, full of goodies and fun things that are going to be varied and serious. So
I'm
make
really
sure
sad I can't be a corpse. Before we go to break, I would like to run through, because we do have a week full of programming as well.
Oh yeah.
This week. So coming up tomorrow, there should be an Echoes of OSS, which is the Call of Cthulhu campaign, which is coming to a close. For those of you waiting for Paranormal Albany Season 8, that premieres on the 28th, so we are 2 weeks away from the premiere of Paranormal Albany Season 8. It's the 28th, whatever that Monday is. It's the last Monday of October. Then on Tuesday, we have the next episode of Avatar Legends, because it's an Avatar week. Wednesday, we have Power Rangers Centurion. And then Friday, we will have Chill with Grimm all over again. And then we have things, I believe this Saturday will be the Saturday morning breakfast stream, where we're doing the Team Badger Savage Worlds run with Kender Mage. It's the return and ascension of Kender, and I'm very excited to be in that game. And then Sunday, we have something happening on Sunday. So it's a full week. Join us on our social media. We have a Mastodon, a Blue Sky, and an Instagram for your pleasure. And yes, please do Spooky Snack. I have some really cool stuff going in there that I'm going to be excited to send to someone in the contiguous United States. So I can't afford shipping to Alaska and Hawaii or abroad, but I can figure most of you probably live somewhere in the 48, so probably good.
We'll be back in just a few, so I'm hoping that everybody's enjoying our little Star Trek adventure. We'll see you guys in a few. Engage. And we're back with the voyages of the Starship Hopkins. Last we came across our intrepid crew. They had boarded the USS Atlantis, a ship found from 100 years ago in the past, who had just had a run-in with a group of Cardassian loyalists, also from 100 years in the past. Our crew is now faced with choices of either trying to help these people get back to their timeline, or try to bring them into the future, or some other random third option that could be written off the end of an episode. Because this is Star Trek, after all. You never really know what you're getting into when all of a sudden it hits you.
Right, you send them even further into the future.
Yeah, just
Further into the future.
it's
Yar and give me like 4 jobs aboard 4 different ships, you know?
Yeah. If you go far enough ahead, it loops back around.
Yes.
I'm still voting for the pleasure ribbon. I don't know what everyone has against the pleasure ribbon.
I think the 4 of us are in the captain's quarters. The captain is there, but the captain is just like shell-shocked off in the corner and just like staring into the middle distance.
Yeah, Captain Amelia, I was saying off camera that this was her first mission outside of, her first mission as a captain, her first mission aboard the USS Atlantis. And she, up until this point, was very much a diplomatic captain, a captain that she was ready to just, keep on talking to the high and mighty of whatever planet they rolled across and make good conversation. She was not really intending to become any sort of like war captain or a captain that was really bent on fighting people. So she is a little bit out of her depth, I would say.
All right, crew. We got, as far as I see it, 2 options ahead of us. We can try to feed this ship back through the time anomaly and hope it goes back to their old time. Or we can do what the temporal prime directive states and turn this into a lot of paperwork and rehabilitate them in the modern era. I am going to state this right now. If we do vote to send them back into the past, I will go on record as saying it was my idea. I will be the only one court-martialed if it gets discovered. That being said, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well,
I
first,
will be the first one to let you know, Commander, that the orders of Starfleet do say that we do have to incorporate them into the present, and we are not allowed to send them back into the past. That is the orders of Starfleet. And we are Starfleet officers. We have been relegated to obey Starfleet rules. That is my ruling. If you would like, Commander, to say, as the humans would say, keep my trap shut, I can do that, and I will make a personal note of it myself.
Thank you, Mr. Jordna.
before anything else, I would require a deeper understanding of the time anomaly. It may not even be possible to send them back, or it may, in fact, be required lest a greater issue occur. Right now, I do not have enough information to say which is, in fact, safer. Though, on a personal note, I imagine they would much prefer the chance to go home even if the record doesn't quite line up with the odds of that happening.
And does the engineer have anything to say?
Will they break things if I fix their transporter? Like if I just finish the service ticket, will people get angry at me?
No more than anything else.
Humor.
Well, Commander, I guess my question would be, what do they want to do? Not that I don't love following Star Trek's orders, but I feel like the colony I lived on didn't let people have a voice in their own decision making, which is why I'm no longer living there, among other things. So I would, if they're like, yay, future, maybe we keep them here and integrate them in society. And if they're like, yay, past, then we send them back. Either way, I'm not done looking at their engine systems. And I don't want the engine to explode if we send them back through the thing, and that would be pretty bad. No offense, not want to freak out or anything, but engines don't like temporal time stuff. So
the captain, the shell-shocked captain, she turns and she says, I would fully like to go back to my time. That is 100% my want for the situation. But the question also remains is that we also have a number of Cardassians aboard now in our brig, which is no less than ideal to be sent back into the past with a bunch of war criminals, I suppose would be the best way to describe this situation.
I believe that the best way to describe them would be prisoners of war.
They are prisoners of war. They did try to destroy our ship, which is not great. But
I mean, you could get a commendation for that sort of thing. I feel like 25 Cardassian prisoners of war. That's that's at least one more button on your lapel.
No, it's not actually. She's captain. I mean, technically.
That could be Commodore, but I'm not looking for that. Now,
a lot of buttons, many buttons. Buttons are great,
All right, then. Here's what we'll do. As of right now, I am personally giving you all the order to get the ship ready to fly it back to the Rift. If we have to abort that, then that is fine. Mr. Katal, figure out everything about the Mr. Kolel, get the ship's engines ready to fly. Mr. Jordna, you could go and make sure that the Cardassians are well kept. If flying needs to happen, then I will fly the ship through. You will catch me with the transporter before I am lost. I am not going to the past. I am not going to spend 100 years trying to have people figure out I'm sentient.
I mean, didn't they have there was a story in the Academy logs about Wales and San Francisco, whoever that is.
You know where San Fran? All right. You've been through Starfleet. You know where San Francisco is. That's where you went to school.
I mean, the Academy was we'd never got out into the San Francisco
can literally see the bridge from the Academy steps.
I mean, maybe you can. Have you been to the engineering building? We didn't have any windows, so maybe you could.
Okay.
I could not.
You do know that you were allowed out of there. You were not locked inside. Not that any of you ever left, but you had the option.
Physically, I mean, spiritually, I mean, based on the amount of homework I had, I never actually saw San Francisco.
Let's all break. Report back to me on your findings.
For every one of you, I need a description of what your plan would be. It doesn't have to be specific, and then I'll give you something to roll for it.
Cool.
Let me check my leadership.
Yeah,
talents.
and you can pull up those talents, those values, anything you want to throw at me, and I will take them into consideration.
So my big thing is I have advisor. Whenever you assist another character using command discipline, the character being assisted may re-roll 1d20. So
That's a handy
anytime you let me do that, I will let people. Basically, that like until the flying of the ship happens, Lucas has nothing to do but keep people calm, which is kind of counterproductive as he is keeping people calm while also beholding the time whale. So he's basically freaking out the crew in equal measures of calming them down, and answering entirely too many questions from the science officers that are just not way too invasive. But yeah, basically I'll stay over comms and like as people need assistance, and I'll be working with the bridge crew as people are doing their various things throughout everything. So if people need assistance, just call out and I will roll mine to assist you.
Right. I'm gonna start aggressively hitting the sensor logs to figure out what information there is on the time anomaly. Start pulling up whatever databases aren't horribly redacted from our computers over on the Hopkins for how all this works. Basically a lot of math that would melt a normal person's brain, I imagine, is probably what it is. Is like, all right, you need to account for a variable that hasn't happened yet. Well, how do I do that?
I'm going to have you roll a control science for that.
Sure.
And if you wanted to come in and assist Lucas.
Absolutely. So command discipline.
Yeah. My command is or control.
Control.
9 plus 5, 14.
So when it says command discipline, is that just basically like control plus command on the talent I'm looking for is called advisor, and it says whenever you assist another character using your command. So it's basically as long as I'm using the basically control or command. So it's command plus what attribute? Sorry.
You're going to be doing command plus science for this role.
Command is one of the disciplines.
Oh, duh. I'm sorry. My brain just ate that. You're going to do... You're going to do... Daring. It's going to be daring.
All right. 15. And it's 1d20 when I'm... Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can reroll one of those, Kid, if you want.
Sure, hold on. I'm checking my own talents. No, that's not that. Okay. I did a roll involving the time nonsense earlier, as I recall, when I plugged my brain up to all this good stuff. So that means my testing of theory comes to effect, which means I can purchase an extra die for free.
Please do.
So I have 3 d20s.
3 d20s, do it.
Yep, and I am aiming for a 14. Boop. 3 d20s. Boop. I would like to use that free reroll that I was given by my commander on that 20.
Absolutely. That's perfect. That's why we do this.
And that hit the target number, which I believe is still a success. So a total of 4 successes if I am doing the system correctly.
Okay.
Wait, so hold on. I think under my focuses for would unorthodox mathematics or quantum physics apply?
Quantum physics.
Cool.
So that's another added success.
Right, because that is under my attribute. So yes.
Yes.
Aha, so 5 successes. I know so much about time travel that I definitely shouldn't. I'm going to get redacted hard after this.
Yeah,
Qatal absolutely beholds the time whale.
When you come back to Hopkins, you're going to just have you're going to lift up your space cell phone and it's going to say 31 missed calls from section 31.
That's probably fine. I can.
But I also
if it was important, they would have left a voicemail, right?
They only want to
in the future. They don't leave voicemails. No one likes a voicemail. Not even them.
One other thing I wanted to say, I'm going to hold on to that.
Feel free to come back to me as I process what is and is not time.
I am going to have our security chief roll a security. What is it? Security. I just thought of it. Control and security.
Control. Let me see. Control.
I'm not telling you why. You just have to roll it.
This is like when I give people the A and B choice and I don't give them context, and they're like, "Nope, why are you picking me? McChoose?"
Oh,
Yes. I have
what's
two
your
successes.
2 successes? Okay. Well, good. I'll tell you what that meant later. Because it looks like things are going really great. I'm gonna have our engineer. You are going to roll. You are going to roll an insight and security. No, you're gonna roll daring and security.
Okay, that's
Superior engineering.
Daring and security. Oh, okay, that's
Don't worry, it's fine.
Gotta do some.
okay. Well, I feel both of those, because security is not something I'm worried about because I have a 2 in security. So,
I'm at engineering. I'm an idiot. Can you re-roll that?
oh, okay. I'm fine to re-roll both those.
I was wondering why you was rolling
That's much
security.
better.
I don't know
That's
why I
much
said that.
I was
like, I don't know what it is, but sure, why not?
See,
I figured he was being jumped in the engineering room.
I don't know why I did that. That was me.
I thought it was like
I
a
succeeded
bomb.
in both of those. So,
Listen,
I will
we
tell
all
you
made
one
those
problem.
mistakes. Okay, so
Yeah. So, but before I will tell you, I do have one problem. Being in an engine room of the past, I kind of just want to fix things, and it's real hard not to fix things, and it's really hard not having my emotional support Roomba with me.
Yeah.
But I'm working to make things okay and not make them better, which is where the successes come in.
yes.
Real hard.
If you would have rolled bad, you would have messed up things. And that is going to, because we got a lot of good successes going this way, which means that we're able to see that there is a very specific way that we could do a bunch of, let me pull up my thing really quick. We see a very specific place where we can get the result that we want by detecting a slight field variance in the destabilizer that you are familiar with that will be able to work with the anomaly to theoretically send this ship and the Cardassians back in time. This is going to take rolls from everybody. Let me just decide which rolls it's going to be. It's going to be all like a specific roll for everyone. The role that you rolled for our chief of security was the role that you rolled was actually to see if the Cardassians could be breaking out of the brig. They are trying actively.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they are trying. They are not happy to be there. They keep doing it. I'm going to have you roll one more time that same roll that you had before because they're still trying. They're very.
I would like to assist with commands.
Please. Yeah, because we can you can't hear them from on the ship, but you could practically hear them. Like just
The space whale enters the room and they're like
Just floating
here.
ominously. Behold the time whale!
they
gift them a bowl of petunias. You're just like, this is from the future. Hold this.
okay. We did not do good on any of those rolls. Does anybody want to
So I got a question.
Yes.
Considering we're trying to lock them down, could this have been control and command?
Yes.
Okay, then that's a meet for me. That's actually a success.
Okay, great.
I have 16 on control
We have
command.
one
So
success and we have 2 failures.
and he gets to re-roll one because of my talent.
re-roll one for me.
I could do a
Like,
diagnostics on the shimmery field that takes the place of Barge in this universe and be like, I can make them stronger, Commander, in my best Scotty voice.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
So
Yes.
we're doing great on. We have at least 2 successes. We can say that we need to send some of the USS Atlantis's security crew to kind of fortify the brig area. This could prove to be a problem when they do go back in time if there is any sort of problem with the like not shields, but like how they have those like little wall things.
Barriers.
Yeah,
Wall
like in the brig.
barrier.
So we have to also keep that in mind. So when we're doing those rolls to get us back into time, we're going to be rolling 3 things pretty much simultaneously. We're going to be rolling for the ship to hit the exact coordinates that it needs to, which is going to be like science and piloting all in one.
Okay.
We're going to, with an engineering twist. And then we're also going to be working with security and engineering to make sure that that brig does not open up, because we do not want those Cardassians. And we're also going to be working with the ship, your captain, and the USS Hopkins all together to make sure that you guys can all get beamed back. Or are we leaving the shuttlecraft here? Is that going to be a lost cause?
No, you can't leave that
You
here.
cannot leave the shuttlecraft. The shuttlecraft's way too advanced for that. If it's gonna have to be us down to the wire, then we will just autopilot. Like have the shuttle autopilot itself back to the Hopkins.
Good idea. Good idea. So that's actually, I'm going to probably make you do another like setup of a just random piloting roll to see if it just doesn't like
I can handle that.
blurp it out into space and like they're like, we found this ship in the middle of nowhere.
Another is that control plus con or daring plus con?
We're going to start off with the science and the engineering roles. So those science and engineering roles, I'm going to have they're both going to be daring because it's a really small gap you guys have to hit. They're going to be daring in science and daring in engineering. Those are going to be your first 2 roles from our science officer as well as our engineer.
Oofed. One of those was a 20. I do have bold and dauntless, so like I'm not exactly.
Reroll it. Please re-roll it. This is the most important.
These are the
thing.
important ones.
This is the one that determines whether or not we
19, so-
explode.
Oh,
Okay.
Can I
so I
assist
got one success,
with a
one failure.
command?
Do you have? I sent you some. Did you get
Medals.
any medals? Did I send you a medal?
I have the Karagite. I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry, Trekkies. Karagite Order of Heroism, which I get a complication, but I avoid a ship breach, which I think could probably work if I'm doing engine-y things.
Yeah, that's. I'm also I'm gonna send you another one really quick, just because you'd probably have 2 at this point.
And I probably have a demerit for when I put knives on my Roomba because they frowned upon that, but he's my emotional support knife Roomba, so you can't take him from me.
Your captain is not here to judge you, so she's like, there's already enough kooky stuff happening.
He actually does have a little name tag, by the way. Like, we got him a little pin with a name tag. So,
Very cute.
basically.
Why? Don't say we. Don't say we.
You had to sign off on it. You had to do the paperwork. You had to say yes.
I super did not do the paperwork. Not to mention the fact that my crew is my quarters are underwater. I can't do paperwork.
It's like Sequest DSV. Am I re-rolling something? No, I got a 19 on the re-roll, so it was... Do I re-roll it again?
Hold on to that for just a second, because I'm going to have our science officer roll their rolls and see what we get all together. Because this is kind of like a group project. Because you're using both science and engineering to get this ship theoretically back 100 years in the past.
Yeah. Would you consider what we're doing outside of the box?
Yes, I would consider that. I would consider that very much, Mr. Section 31.
The reason I ask is I have
Hey.
unconventional thinking as a talent, so that means the difficulty is 1 less for what,
Perfect.
which means I should need 1 less success. Gotten the uber success earlier, so I get a free die. Boom! All of those are under my number.
Fantastic.
And hold on. If we're still working the same with the focus, 2 of them are under my attribute number as well.
That is making up for some of the lesser things. We're on the right track. I also need I need a presence and security role from our security chief, as we're trying to quell the angry Cardassians that are like now pounding on the brig.
Intimidate them.
Are you okay? Mr. Catal.
Yes, my chair's trying to kill me every once in a while.
This is what happens when you have a direct neural interference and the intrusive thoughts win.
Really.
Okay, so we have
We better hope this goes well,
I
because
got one success.
one success.
One thing, can I use reason instead? Can
Can
you
you-
make an argument for using?
Yeah, make an argument for me. I love to hear an argument because this is the thing about Star Trek in general is that you can kind of make an argument for anything.
The thing is, like, if I can use reason instead of presence, then I can actually use one of my talents.
Do it.
So that's why, because the thing is, like, where is it? Allows it to, the character gains one automatic success on all tasks using reason, in addition to any generated by rolling. If I can use reason, this just becomes an automatic success.
Great. So we're doing really well. We just have one. We're hitting it right on where we want to go. So with that helps, and we have got that success. We have the Cardassians at bay. You have to kind of instruct what you're letting this captain and her crew deal with them when they get back to the past. Hopefully, that's the hope. I'm assuming.
Except for their lack of ship. Now they are, shipless, but
Well, no, the Cardassians are staying aboard the Hopkins.
Captain Royce is the one that's got to handle them when she gets back to the past. Not the Cardassian captain. We don't care about him, nor does history.
Yeah, he's already had the spawn that would spawn your current captain, so he's basically.
So we're not doing it Back to the Future. We're not doing it Back to the Future.
There is repeated times where I keep checking my collar just to make sure there's not a fourth Pips there out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, everything's fine.
I did really good on the time travel science just so we wouldn't have to do it Back to the Future.
Yeah, no, you guys rolled really, really well, and you were really great about using your talents and stuff, and that's honestly what Starfleet is about, is like, using what you have to make sure that you're moving forward. So even if it feels like things want to breach, we are...
Which is weird because there's no forward in space, really, if you think about it. Like, Star Trek wants us to move forward, but space doesn't have a forward. It's just continuous.
What I'm imagining in this particular situation is that there is some kind of like space cloud that you have to hit at a certain degree and speed and all of the right calculations that everybody has been working towards with all your various roles in a very specific way in order to get you back through the right space rift, because it's kind of like a mini black hole. I'm imagining it's like a black hole field.
just float over to the helm and be like, son, no, I'm doing this.
And
I actually ask if they have like, I've heard of this drink called Red Bull, and I was curious if they have it in their reclamator.
No.
So I can try it.
Our record was destroyed for a reason.
You get synthacaffeine like the rest of us back on the Hopkins. I'm not trusting you with the real stuff.
True. Synthable. Okay. I do need a roll from our piloting exo / time whale to make sure that we can get this very time breachy shuttlecraft off the ship in a right amount of time, as well as us. I'm going to have you do that's going to be a
Con is my best, so that's good. I just need to know what attribute.
It's going to be con. It's going to be daring and con, because this whole thing is kind of daring. We're all having to do it. Like, you have to really coordinate exactly when everything's happening.
That's fair. Also, queuing into talents, I have 3-dimensional thinking because I'm a whale. When I attempt a task utilizing your con discipline, the complication range associated with that task is always considered to be 1 less.
Cool. Okay. I
don't think in 2 dimensions like the rest of you bipeds.
I love that.
and both of those are successful. And one of those goes underneath my focus. I have stellar cartography as one of my focuses, as well as small craft. That doesn't really help, but I have astronavigation and stellar cartography both as focuses, and decisive leadership if that helps as well, to kind of like throw random focuses in there until one wicks.
Even with all of the threat that I have accrued from some of your nasty little 20s that you guys have rolled, you guys have gone above and beyond. So basically, like this moment, I kind of want you guys to just speak what your characters are doing as you are doing a very perfectly timed motion to not only get this ship into a very specific pocket of like space gobbledygook and get yourselves beamed back to the USS Hopkins. Have your best Star Trek description moment, because it really could have gone very bad, and I had it written up that for some very disastrous situations. And then once you do it, I'll tell you what happens after.
I'm going last, by the way.
Okay. Does anybody, what is their character doing?
Kolel is, at one of the consoles, both furiously typing as well as using the neural interface to bring up things. When it's doing the thing where like screens are popping up and then disappearing so fast that no one could possibly actually be reading them. They always use that when Data or someone like that is doing nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going on, probably deeply traumatizing the person whose station I've taken over, as I'm just doing as the kind of math that destroys college professors at a speed that is deeply unsafe, in all honesty. We should probably explode doing this, but it's fine. It's probably fine. Just making super minute adjustments to whatever field that we're playing with to make sure that when we hit at the right angle that it actually engages correctly. We want to avoid any weird chronoton problems. We don't want to deal with that.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm loving that. Can I hear some narration from our chief of security or our chief of engineering?
What I was thinking about doing is locking down the brig from the outside.
Ooh.
So I kind of ordered like all the personnel outside of the brig, then lock it down in a way that nobody really can get in or out. But I do let one of the chief of security on the other ship, let them know what I did, so that whenever they're able to go back into the past, they can open it up when they feel necessary, so that if there is something happens through the time jump, like even if the cage are to open up, they still can't get out. Like they are locked in no matter what. Like if they can get out of the cell, but they can't get out of the bricks because of what I did.
Great. Thank you for thinking about that. And our chief of engineering.
So, as a non-telepathic betazoid, as sort of a broken chassis Cassiel model, as it were, I have been accused of being cold and heartless, but I am not, in fact, cold and heartless. And though I'm muttering under my breath about things I would do to fix this warp core, because why? Why do they have that tube there? What are they doing? That's going to burn up eventually. And I'm just jabbering a couple miles a minute. But because it's also not really my ship, so they actually do have a chief engineer who I feel like should be allowed to at least participate in the process. I have them doing a couple of the buttons in tandem with me, just kind of on the side, so that not necessarily so they are learning, but so they are participating, and also because then I don't have to like fix the console on my way out back to factory settings. I maybe do potentially, and I'm sure I'll get in trouble for this, but it wouldn't be the first time, maybe mention something about like a potential way they could fix their transporter, like if they really want to, but they don't have to. No worries. But it's important to me that the chief engineer kind of sees a different way they could run their console, at least, if not some improvements they could make that wouldn't like reset the timeline if they decided to like make their engineering work cores better and safer, as it's never fun when the room goes on fire. Also, I'm like, you should install some railings on the section on the top, just in case of like fighting that involves people going up on the graded area. Just add some railings in when you get like a free afternoon, just one less holodeck day, but like railings. Love railings.
Have a holodeck.
There's actually no holodecks in this time period yet.
Okay, I heard the word holodeck, which I
what?
realized after I said it is a mistake. But it's too late to take it back, and I'm like, I can't explain that to you. But it's a fun thing, and I'm real sorry about it. So the holodeck is the only mistake that I make, which, that's fine.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. I could be hopped up on Red Bull the whole time.
Very true. So Lucas is flying, he's doing the last thing, like basically is flying into the actual anomaly. And is like does the whole thing where he braces himself. He does the big sigh, but he's a beluga whale, so it's going through the blowhole, just a and then as he's flying in, like he gets the reports that everyone has done. So like Catal reports in, and he goes Hopkins transport Catal, and then gets the report that Jordna is sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that you get like a notification back from your transporter chief. Has locked on.
And the ship is starting to shake a bit more as we're going through, and I radio back in Jordna. Hopkins, retrieve Jordna. And it's getting shaky.
On.
Hopkins, retrieve. And basically just like I'm picturing them like just teleporting out one by one, and then Hopkins, retrieve Kolel. And then just like it's like that last minute of like trying to get through, and it's like Hopkins, do you read? Hopkins, I'm ready for retrieval, and then I will leave it up to you.
You rolled so well that you definitely end up there. You end up right in the middle of the bridge, face to face with your captain, Captain Jerzo Ashka, who is honestly just like, she has like this look of absolute like pride because she is just so happy with how this went. She goes, that was some incredible maneuvering, team, to the away team, because she just had them teleported right to the crew just to watch the clouds kind of like fizzle and sparkle out. You know how they do in like Star Trek when things are going into various time shifty kind of situations. You see it all fizzle away. A few moments later, you get a ping on your on one of the screens, and the screen has like a description of the change, because somebody was already looking up information about the USS Atlantis the entire time that most of you guys were on board. It now says that the USS Atlantis was found 4 years after it had been lost at sea. But they said that they were able to remaneuver out of a temporal shift and had a crew of 22 Cardassians aboard that they were able to bring back to the Federation. So you guys did really well. You weren't perfect because there was a few wonky rolls.
I think Lucas does laugh and go, 4 years? You're slipping, Catal.
4 years. So they were stuck in space for 4 years. It didn't feel like 4 years to them. It felt like 30 minutes probably, or whatever the time that you guys were on board. So it's better for them. They're still able to go back and live their lives. They have no mention of you, obviously, in any of their situations. The Captain Amelia went on to be promoted to Commodore a few years later. and then she retired to the moon after she was done with her Starfleet career.
As you do.
As you do. And she actually started conversations about cetaceans as it started coming up. Like she was when people started bringing up the idea of like cetaceans as humans, she was firmly on the side of them, and she never really gave a reason why, but it's noted that she was a staunch supporter of cetacean rights. So
Did she ever use the phrase kettle of fish again, or was like she's like never using that phrase again?
I think she gave up seafood after that, actually. I think she gave up seafood, and then she stayed on the moon for the rest of her existence after she was
Far away from the ocean.
far away from the ocean. She was like, "I'm just gonna stay in the lunar colony." That was weird.
I mean, that's fair.
The funny thing is that if they do it correctly, then the Cardassians can just go on about the future Starfleet and this and that. And when they ask Starfleet, they'll be like, "No, our crew said that they didn't say there was no time travelers. I don't know. I think your people might have gotten a little star crazy. You might want to check them in about this time traveling star crew."
Yes, we gaslight gatekeep girl boss the Cardassians.
Yeah, that's the one thing Captain Amelia did is she gaslight, gatekeeped, and girl bossed those Cardassians, and they're like, there was those people from the future, and she's like, what? It's so weird. Why would you say that?
There was a whale.
There was a whale. What?
Clearly, this man is insane.
Yeah, like they were able to just kind of write it off. They're like, okay.
I'm just picturing.
Yes, what are you talking about?
I am just picturing him being led away of saying, "The whale knew my grandchildren. The whale knew my grandchildren."
I have a few questions for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I did have a whale of a time, thank you.
I wasn't ready for that. I was going to ask, do you guys tell your captain that her ancestor was aboard that Cardassian vessel?
Absolutely. I think like the epilogue is like at the captain's table with at least with Lucas, maybe with others if they're so inclined.
So if we did well, we all had tea and cheese in her quarters.
Gotcha. So then basically, and like there's just by the way, I may have bitched out your great grandfather.
And she goes, I actually do get along with the Cardassian side of my family now, but I don't think I would have gotten along with him.
No.
Does anybody else have any like epilogue bits?
Yes. One thing I did want to add was that I'll go to the captain whenever she has some alone time, and I'll just ask her to permission to speak freely, and then I'll tell her that everything that happened was completely against the books. You were supposed to keep them here. But if it's up to you, to, as a human say, zip my lip. I would do that. But I will be keeping a mental log of everything that has happened.
That is most appreciated. I allowed my entire trust into the commander for this particular thing, and anything that he went with all of you, I trust implicitly. There are times, I'm not sure if you understand this, the same way that I also didn't understand it when I was in your kind of position, where bending the rules ends up being your best sort of success. And I know that it feels wrong. Totally understand that. But I appreciate your candor in this situation.
I guess it could be one of those human things, correct?
Correct. And she smiles and does double thumbs up, because she also doesn't know human things very well because she's half Bajoran and half Cardassian. She's like, yeah.
Yes, the thing with the thumbs. Yes.
Yes. And they both
as the humans say.
A very cute moment of them just thumbs upping each other. Anything from our science officer and our engineering officer for their little epilogue moments?
I have to assume that we're keeping this off the official books for the most part. If only because otherwise I'm definitely getting picked up.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. But that just, I had, a direct neural uplink, so I downloaded a bunch of really fascinating data on time anomalies and how to abuse them. That's going to go right into a private little section that is encrypted to absolute hell and back.
And as a former science officer, I should not look at them, but I will.
You should label the folder not porn so that no one will look at the folder.
Now, if you want people not to look up what something is, you put it as something innocuous and incredibly boring, like science division expense reports.
Yeah. But yeah, your captain is a former science officer, so she's very interested in all of that information. And anything from our engineer, now that you have your little robot friend.
Just telling him about his day.
Yes, that's that. I do my data with cat moment when I pick up my Roomba with its knives spinning, and I just talk about my day before I set it down. I do a couple of things. My first is next time I have shore leave and we're near the Earth, I decide I'm going to finally do the tour of San Francisco I've talked about for a few years now. Because apparently you can see the city outside of the academy, so there you go. But the other thing I'm going to do is something
I'm finding a picture.
Something I was a little rusty on as chief of engineering. I'm actually going to institute a policy where everyone in engineering has to spend a week working with an older console format. I don't care which one, but you have to do it. Even if you complain about it, you have to do it for the whole week. Unless something major comes up, like Q decides to have a switch bodies. I don't know, but yeah. So there's a re-institutionalization of you should have some muscle memory of different consoles for when this happens to you.
And it will.
And
Because our science officer now knows a whole bunch of stuff about time stuff, so we should all probably be prepared for that.
Look, we're gonna get time anomaly by Q or something one day. You're gonna be real glad I have this file that I definitely shouldn't have.
I don't know.
Also, I'm really glad you passed all your engineering roles because that fun neural thing I've been doing this whole time, if you'd have failed your engineering and hurt the ship at any point, immediately does 4 deadly damage to my brain.
Yeah, that's why I didn't take one. That's why I decided I sub-vocalize, use echolocation to everything. Not there's a computer in my brain.
So thank you for doing a good job.
I do think it's cute that you think Q doesn't know that you have that.
No, that's why he'll do it to us, but it means I have to have the solution handy.
Does anybody else have other things they want to throw out before I write the final scene paint it?
Go for it.
Okay. In the captain's quarters, as you are enjoying a tray of various cheeses and some very high quality oolong, the captain expresses her thanks to you, and the scene fades to black where it says directed by Jonathan Frakes.
That explains.
This absolutely would be a Frakes episode.
Yeah. Does he do one of those "Have you ever" moments from the other show he did?
No. No.
Not enough horniness. But I mean, if you would have decided to keep the captain around, if you guys would have kept that ship, that captain would have given one of you her number. So that would have been the Frakes twist if that would have happened. But that is what I wrote for you guys. Thank you so much for playing with me. This is my first time GMing, as I've been telling everybody.
So much fun.
I am really, really happy with how it turned out. Thank you guys so much for playing. I hope you guys had fun too.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot for me to do, but that's...
You guys were very smart with your roles because there was a lot of different solutions that could have happened, resolutions that could have happened in those situations. I had a contingency plan for a bunch of different things, but you hit your marks and you were very smart about everything that you played. So we didn't have to even go into combat because we didn't. We were able to bypass that. We were able to bypass, getting sucked into a time anomaly, and exactly. There's a bunch of stuff that could have happened that you guys avoided, and you did a really great job. And it means a lot to me that you guys all decided to play my game. I'm so glad that Shadows of Nox believed in me enough to let this happen.
Was it
So-
Sci-fi is a big part of our mission too. You know, it's not just horror; it's also about space and the things that go on there, and it's fabulous. So thank
Look,
you.
there's
yeah.
plenty of horror in Beholding the Time Whale. We
Like-
just we were
Oh, yeah.
we were the horrifying things. in
That
this
command
short.
crew is gonna have fucking nightmares about this day.
They're probably the ones that are going to have to install Starfleet counselors because they're going to all have PTSD of the time that they thought they were going to be stuck in the future. So it's pretty
Time
scary. Like they're like, oh god, the one girl that you were freaking out, the science officer, is just all like, my cat back in Cape Town. I'll never see her again.
I mean, it's fine. We fixed it.
We fixed it. So she went back to her cat, and it was great.
I think she's the reason when she said that there was a person that had a cable come out of his head and go straight into the console. She's the reason why they have counselors on the ships now.
Yep.
Because when she explained that, she's like, "Yes, you need counseling. You very much need counseling because
counseling,
that's
please."
not a possibility."
But yeah, so definitely everybody that's paying attention, please come and check out all of our other really cool content that we create on this channel. We'll be here for a bunch of different stuff. There's a lot of cool things happening. Sign up if you haven't already for the spooky snacks so that you can get those delicious, delicious treats.
Yep, and remember you can sign up twice per stream. So if you only sign up once this stream, make sure you get it in. I'm gonna stick around watching the chat for like a couple minutes after we end, just if we can get some last minute entries in.
I just can't enter because I'm making the box, so that would be unfair.
I mean, it would save you on shipping if you went.
It's true.
I mean,
it would make things
but
very
it
simple on you.
feels beside the point.
And if you want to
my
follow
spooky
what I
snacks
do,
are the friends I made along the way. So you know.
Yeah.
if you're interested in the things that I wrote, because I wrote this little one shot, if you're interested in things that I write, I'm going to be one of the writers for Hopkins, which is a Kids on Bikes LARP, and that's going to be next year in Wisconsin. It's kind of Stranger Things themed, and then I'm doing. I have written another LARP that's going to be up at Intercon called Whispering Pages. John's played it, and it's going to be
Like a lesbian ghost. It was great.
Yeah, I wrote some lesbian ghosts. It was great. It's very sad and feelsy. So follow me at Lottie West if you're interested in that. I want to again thank all of my players and Teslin for being our tech whiz and also rolling up a emergency EMH in case we did have a run-in with those Cardassians that went negatively. So thanks everyone. Oh, and live long and prosper, I guess.
May the Schwartz be with you.
That's a wrong franchise in two different directions.
Remember, time travel is always the solution.